Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Play Action Podcast presented by Warrior Student Media. I'm TJ Haws, and joined with me today is my great co-host, Tyler Houston. How are you doing today, Tyler?
I'm doing pretty good.
All right, I'm happy to hear that. Now, we're back for another episode here, and we got a very interesting episode today. All right, so normally, we've been doing a few of these kind of different types of episodes, like we did, a trade deadline one a few weeks ago. We did one on our award predictions. That was with Caden. And I thought we'd continue this kind of path of different episodes, right? And today we're doing a mock draft, right? We are 10 weeks into the NFL season. So this is kind of prime, first mock draft time. But instead of me doing it, because I'll be honest, between the two of us, I'm the draft guy, you are not.
Yeah, no,
so I thought it'd be a little more fun if we had Tyler make his mock draft, and then as he's making it live, I'll be reacting and give my thoughts on each pick he makes. So we got the current draft order based off of Tankathon is the draft order that we're using. So with that, I'm gonna give it to you. We got 31 picks. Miami does not have a first round pick because they're dumb and did some bad things, but we're gonna listen to why you make each pick. I'll kind of give a bit of a reaction, and we'll go through a whole first round. So let's, go start off. We got the Texans at the first overall pick. What are you thinking here?
I think position-wise, I think it's very obvious what position it's going to be here. Texans are full rebuild mode at this point. And I think the main position here is quarterback. And
for sure.
It comes down to C.J. Stroud from Ohio State or Bryce Young out of Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them are good options. I feel like they're back and forth, if I'm not wrong, who's going first overall.
Yeah, I can go either way.
Personally, here I'm gonna go with C.J. Stroud. I haven't watched many Bama or Ohio State games, but the games I've watched, it seems like Stroud can win big games, and this year it seems like Bryce Young can't. So that's also, I think that's the main reason why I'm going to give it to him.
No, I like that pick. I mean, it can go either way. I like Stroud. I like Bryce Young. I think personally I would have gone Young first, but they're neck and neck for me. It doesn't really. You pick. You can pick. It's your choice, right? So that's not even a bad pick. So next we got Raiders at number 2. A shocking number 2 to say the least. I didn't expect the Raiders to be this bad, but I'm curious to see where you go with this pick because I could see a quarterback going here.
I could see a quarterback going here. At the same time, too, I don't feel like the quarterback is the biggest issue. Mm-hmm. Yes, at times it's been part of it, but I think the offense is good enough. It's just I feel like you're also having bad coaching, plus your defense isn't helping you out enough.
All right, so is that going to lead you to go defense?
It actually will.
Who are you going to go with?
I'm debating on 2 guys right here. Will Anderson or Jalen Carter.
All right, there is one right pick and one wrong pick.
Yeah,
in my head. So,
I think I'm for here. I want to ask this. Didn't the Raiders just sign off waivers Tillery?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna throw this out here. Give me Will Anderson Jr.
Oh God. Okay, so I'm not gonna say a bad pick because Will Anderson's such a good player. But
I just realized something now.
But Jalen Carter is the best player in this draft class, I think. I mean, I'm not expecting you to know that, but Jalen Carter, I think, has all the traits to be a perfect 3 tech. I think he would have fit in this defense perfectly. But Will Anderson's still a really good pick. Chandler Jones hasn't done much in his first year. Max Crosby's a great edge rusher, but I personally would have gone Carter, added more pass rush to the defensive interior, but. Again, it's kind of best player available at this point, so it's not a bad pick by any means.
Yeah, I don't think he's a bad player, but I'll be completely honest. I completely forgot Chandler Jones is on the team, so that's the main reason why I thought edge.
Which, but
it
makes sense considering he's not playing good, so I guess I could see why you forgot about him. But, all right, now we got Carolina at number 3. I don't see how I think you got to pick
It's very obvious, but I would like to go defensive tackle here, but the obvious choice is quarterback.
You're going to take Bryce Young?
It's Bryce Young. It's simple.
It is definitely, I was going to say, Jalen Carter I don't think would have been a good pick here at all. I think that would have been bad, but,
I feel like they needed another defensive tackle, though. Yes, you got Derrick Brown. Why didn't they have 2 great interior guys?
Yeah, but with this team being so bad, it's
quarterback's obvious.
You need to address other positions first. But no, Bryce Young. I mean, I'm not even gonna say much on that. It's you need a quarterback. Get the best guy on the board. And now we got Philly at 4. See, Philly has picked 31 in this draft too, because they are the best team in the NFL right now, record-wise. And this pick comes from New Orleans when they made a trade in last year's draft, where New Orleans wanted to trade up.
Does it go left to right, like the needs, or up and down?
It's
right.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why I said left. Not bad. Okay, for Philly here, I'm gonna go with Miles Murphy.
Yeah.
Need an edge rusher.
Yeah, perfect. It's such a good pick.
You just traded for Robert Quinn a couple weeks ago, but at the same time too, he's 33 years old. And he's gonna only be here for the rest of this year.
Yeah.
Quinn and the Eagles decided that they're gonna terminate his contract after this year, so you need another edge rusher, and I think having a young edge rusher,
perfect pick,
a great Philadelphia team who is possibly for sure a Super Bowl contender.
That's a great pick. Derek Barnett's out for the year. He kind of signed on a 1-year deal, like a prove-it kind of contract. Is not going to work out. I'm sure he goes into free agency. Brandon Graham, very old. Josh Sweat, good edge rusher. I think he'll be kind of the full-time starter next year, and then put Miles Murphy on the other side. Dude, it's going to be so good. It's such a good pick. He's like he fits perfectly for them. That's a home run. This mock draft's going pretty good so far, honestly. I'm liking it. But I don't even think that's a bad pick. So, I'm liking this so far. And I don't think you're going to mess up this next one, too. We got Jacksonville at 5. I think this is another easy pick.
I like that. I think you can go 2 picks here, but there's an obvious one. I think you can go receiver, offensive tackle here. But I'm going to go with Peter Skoronski out of Northwestern.
That is okay. See, now this is the first bad pick of the draft. All right, we finally found it. We found the first bad one. I just was hyping you up, man. I was just hyping you up. Jalen Carter's on the board. Their defensive interior is not good by any means. I don't see how you could have passed up on Jalen Carter unless you're doing that so Chicago could get him with this next pick.
No. But I won't lie. I was stupid. I looked at this, completely forgot about Jalen Carter.
Dude, come on, man, get your head in the game.
At the same time, too, I didn't think about defensive tackle as much for them.
That's one of their biggest needs.
Oh, and here it doesn't say it.
Yes, it does.
But it says receiver, offensive tackle, corner.
No, it doesn't, Tyler. I'm literally looking at it.
I'm looking at it too.
Yeah, receiver, defensive tackle, offensive tackle.
I thought you disagreed with me when I said does it go right.
No, you need to use your head more, Tyler. Bad pick. Skoronski's a good player. He's my offensive tackle 1, and offensive tackle is a need, so this pick works. But I just don't see how you can pass on Jalen Carter. I don't get it. It's just.
Oh, I guess.
I'm sorry, but that's the first bad one of the draft. But let's move on to your team.
I wasn't meaning to do this, but I'll take Jalen Carter here then. Like, we need interior.
Now you take him, of course. Well, wait till the Bears pick. Makes sense. All right.
I wasn't thinking about taking him at this point.
Whatever. If Jalen Carter falls to 6, you guys get an absolute steal. Like, that's the best player in this draft, going 6th overall to a team that needs a defensive tackle, needs a pure 3 tech that badly. That's a perfect pick. But now we got Seattle at 7, and this comes from Denver, this pick. So, what are you thinking here? This is kind of where the draft starts to get a little interesting.
Yeah. There's many things here for Seattle. I think for offense, I think it's mainly quarterback, and then a lot of position on defense besides corner, I would say. I think they're very good at corner. I feel like I forgot what you said about this guy. But I'm going to take a quarterback here out of Will Levis out of Kentucky.
No. Why? They already... All right, man. Well, okay. So, since he made the pick, Will Levis sucks. Will Levis is not good. He has not been playing good at all this year. But he comes from a system that is very NFL-esque system in Kentucky, so a lot of teams can see that as like, oh, he's ready for the NFL, but his like decision-making and consistency will need to improve, and that can be coached up. All the intangible qualities are there for him, but he just hasn't played at that level. So, I don't know. I just don't think he should go this high, but he will be like a top 15 pick for teams. Teams will look at him just because he's playing in an NFL system. But I just don't think Seattle should take a quarterback. They're trying to renegotiate. They're going to sign Geno to a new contract. They've already said that. They're going to talk to him. try to get a new contract with him.
At
but
the same time, too, how old is he? Isn't he like in his mid-30s or young 30s?
I have no idea.
Like he's up there in age. That's also another reason why. Like I guess maybe try and bring Drew Lock back too if you want to see what you have out of him. Personally, I wanted Drew Lock from the beginning, but they started with Geno Smith, so whatever.
You say as you're wearing the Drew Lock jersey. He does have it on. He has a Seattle Drew Lock jersey. Where'd you get that from? Why would you get that? Don't answer that question. I don't even want you to answer that question.
Okay.
You may have lost a bet, but
yeah,
that's besides the point. We don't bet here. So.
Yeah, totally.
All right, but now we got Detroit at 8. This pick comes from the Rams. These Seattle, Detroit here, and then Houston at 9 are none of them are their picks. Those are all picks they traded for and got great value out of. So Detroit at 8 here. What are you thinking?
Defense sucks. I'm gonna
That's facts.
say that.
That's true.
Secondary, I'm gonna go after here. I'm gonna go with Kelee Ringo.
Kelee Ringo?
Yeah,
that's great pick. That's perfect. Number 1 corner in this class by a long shot. He has, coming from Georgia. Georgia corners tend to perform really well, like throughout their careers, right? You got Tyson Campbell for Jacksonville. He was the first pick in the second round in 2021, and he's playing really good. Eric Stokes, unfortunately, is out for the year now, but he's been great for Green Bay. And now Kelee Ringo's next in line for that, I think. Add an elite, true number 1 corner to pair up with Jeff Okudah. I like that a lot. That's a really good pick. Now we got Houston at 9. This pick comes from Cleveland in the Deshaun Watson trade. So there's a couple ways you could go with this pick. I'm not going to say there's a true number 1 answer, but I'm really curious to see what you think here.
All right.
You went C.J. Stroud first overall. I should just mention that real quick.
I think you want to. I feel like adding on more to that offense right now. I feel like is necessary, especially with what's going on with Brandon Cooks. Who knows what happens with him in the offseason? Because I really feel like he doesn't want to be there anymore.
No, he doesn't.
So I think I'm taking consideration of there's a chance Cook's not being there. Plus, I think you need another number 2 or 3 receiver. Matters how Nico Collins pans out. So I'm gonna go with a receiver out of TCU, Quentin Johnson.
Yes, dude, I love Quentin Johnson so much. He's my receiver 1. I'm happy you took him as receiver 1 instead of going with someone like Jordan Addison. But I just think
I've heard so many great things out of Johnson
because he's incredible. He's a true X receiver. And I just think I think Brandon Cooks is gone. They stripped him of his captain patch, so he's not even team captain anymore. He's gone. He'll be off the team by the time the season ends. So getting a legit number 1 receiver in Quentin Johnston just fits perfectly. Giving C.J. Stroud his guy right away too. I like that. And now we got Pittsburgh at 10. Please don't mess this up. I will be upset with you if you do so.
I already know you're going to. I'm thinking very hard.
I think I know who you're gonna pick. I think I know who you're gonna end up picking, and I'm not gonna be too happy with it if you do so.
All right. So okay, I'm trying to think. I'm thinking offensive line or defensive line. I'll put that first out there. I think you need to upgrade both of them. Defensive line, you're getting much older with. Offensive line, you're much younger, but no one has exactly proven themselves.
Not good. I agree.
You drafted a rookie quarterback, so clearly you're gonna work around him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with offensive tackle.
Which one?
Paris Johnson Jr.
I like that. See, there we go. I was worried you were gonna go defensive tackle, and I would not have been happy with you. But
you think I was gonna go with Brian Bracey or whatever his name is?
Yeah, I was worried you were gonna go with. I was worried that you were gonna pick a defensive tackle, him specifically, because he's the top on the board right now. But Paris Johnson, he is probably my offensive tackle 3 right now, I'd say. And I like this dude a lot. I think he's worth the 10th overall pick. Get a true left tackle or right tackle, depending on who you want to replace first. I'm really happy with that. I'm happy you made a good pick for us. But now we move on to Detroit again. They just picked at 8, taking Kelee Ringo, and now they have their own pick here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious to see if you make the pick I think you're going to make. Not a specific player, but there's a position group I think you're going to take here. I think you could take.
I want to say quarterback. I feel like Geno Smith is very inconsistent. There's games he's been good.
Geno Smith, you say?
I said Geno Smith?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a jerk off.
Yeah, there you go.
What the heck am I on?
There you go.
He's been very inconsistent.
Facts.
Up and down.
Yeah.
I want to go quarterback here.
Who? Don't be afraid. Okay, quarterbacks are ranked lower on this list. I will just give you. Don't be afraid to take more quarterbacks.
Okay, Anthony Richardson out of Florida.
Oh, whoa. Okay. All right, buddy. I like that. I like that a lot. I was expecting Hendon Hooker here when you said quarterback, but Anthony Richardson, very developmental prospect. He is my quarterback 4 right now, behind obviously Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, and then Hendon Hooker. And I mean, I think you'll have to sit for a year, maybe even 2. But I think Goff's contract can run through at that point, and you'll know you have a good quarterback on the a good young quarterback on the bench to ultimately replace him. Yeah, no, I like that a lot. That's just preparing for the future. I mean, I think you could go defense, you could go potentially linebacker here, but I don't know if there's anyone worth this high of a pick. So
I've heard of that. I think you've mentioned that to me and some other people I know who talk about draft. There's not the greatest at off-ball linebackers early in the draft.
No, there's a couple of guys I really like, but there isn't a ton of this early. I wouldn't go with anyone. Mm-hmm. So I like that pick. I like Richardson a lot. I'm happy. That's a little bit of a splashy pick there. I like that. But now we got Atlanta sitting at number 12, and I don't know. I have no idea.
Easy pick, tight end.
I mean, at this point, it looks like they have no tight end.
Falcons, they need to upgrade at a lot of positions. I still feel like quarterback. I'm not going quarterback here, but I feel like that's still unknown. I would have thought by now they would have gave Desmond Ridder an opportunity. Still haven't. Receiver is not the greatest either. You got Drake London, but he's not doing much because Mariota sucks. Pitts isn't doing much, but also he's a generational talent. I think next year he'll bounce back for sure. But I'm going to go on the defense side of the ball here. You've traded a couple pieces away on defense, but you also brought in a corner, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, Rashad Fenton, right? Or was that a different team?
No, you're right.
So I feel like secondary is in the biggest need. You got some pieces there. I'm going to go with edge here out of Notre Dame, Isaiah Fox.
Yeah! I love this man. He is, there's been a lot of question marks throughout the draft community on who edge 3 is. Because you got the top 2 that were taken. And then you have guys like Isaiah Foskey, who's been really good for Notre Dame this year. Nolan Smith, who was out for the year with a tricep or pec injury, if I'm not mistaken, something along those lines. But he is having a great season for Georgia. Jared Verse out of Florida State has been really good this year. So there are a few guys, but I think Foskey is the clear edge 3. And for a team that has little edge presence each and every week, I love that pick. It's perfect. So, and he'll fit really well in that system. But now we got Arizona sitting at pick 13. Where are you going to go here?
I'm looking at a couple of positions here. I'm not going with tight end, but I'm actually a little bit debating it just because Zach Ertz he's going to be 32 or 33 next year. Plus, he has a season-ending injury, but I don't think that's going to affect him too much for next year. I'm going to go with the defensive side of the ball here. I'm going to go with a corner out of Joey Porter Jr. out of Penn State.
Yeah, my number 2 corner. Corner is such a big need for this team. Outside of I think Byron Murphy is a very underrated corner. He's very good, but outside of that, you really got no one. And corners, you need to be 3, 4, even 5 deep of quality starters. So getting that second guy that can play opposite of Murphy is perfect. I like that pick a lot. Now we got Green Bay, 14. And don't make a stupid pick because you don't like Green Bay. But
I'm not going to. But also, I feel like this position is very obvious. I think it's receiver.
Okay, which one?
Jordan Addison.
All right.
At USC.
Yeah, it's kind of a pick your poison here. Do you want Jordan Addison, or do you think Jackson Smith and Nick Jigba would fit better? Kind of toss maybe even a Keishawn Butte if you really are thinking it. I don't think he goes that high, but I don't know. I mean, Addison's a pretty good player.
I think for Jackson, I think I've talked to you about this. I think he might fall down in the draft if he goes to the draft this year because of his injury this year. Has he played any games this year?
Yes.
Yeah. I thought he's been out.
He's played most of the games this year.
I thought he said an injury though that's kept him out a lot of the season.
No, he's had an injury that kept him out for a bit, but he's played a good portion of the season. But no, there are injury concerns there, so I get it. But it's nothing. It's nothing that affected him prior to this season, so I'm not too worried. But Jordan Addison kind of fits that type of receiver they need. I don't know if they'll go a receiver first round just because they have Christian Watson, who they spent a high pick on, and Romeo Doubs, who they spent the 4th on last year. Both are playing really well. But might as well add that true number 1 guy. I like it. We got Indy here at next at 15, and I want you to pick someone specifically, but I don't know if you will. But I'm hoping you do.
For the Colts, I feel like they have a lot of positions. Phil maybe could use one guy for like maybe offensive line, maybe defense of line. But I think one position you're lacking for sure is quarterback. You have Matt Ryan, who is the late 30s. You have Nick Foles, who probably won't be on the team next year. And then you have Sam Ellinger. I don't see him as a future. So I think the Colts are going to go quarterback here. And you take the guy, Hendon Hooker out of Tennessee.
Yeah, that's the exact pick I wanted you to make. I think this is a team set up where they can be good. This is a team with quality players all across the roster, but I think quarterback has really been hindering them, and coaching. But obviously we got the coaching change in Jeff Saturday now, which he'll probably change again after the season ends. But you got to
take some Colts to the playoffs. Who knows?
I don't know. I don't. Maybe, but. I mean, we saw Rich Bisaccia last year take the Raiders to the playoffs and then get fired right afterwards, which was stupid. But Hendon Hooker's a great quarterback. I think he's old, so he's older. He's going to be like 24, 25 when his rookie season starts. So that's an issue, but he's an NFL-ready quarterback. I think the development won't be necessary, so it gives you a good starter right away. So I like it. Now at 16, we got Washington. I think this is a pretty easy pick for me, at least. But what do you got?
So Washington. I'm gonna go defense here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with a corner, Cam Smith.
There, perfect. Yeah. I mean, William Jackson just got traded. You got Kendall Fuller, and that's it. Again, just like Arizona, get another boundary guy. That's a great pick. So there's not even much to say there. Now we got the Chargers at 17, and a couple ways you could go here, but I want to see what you think.
For the Chargers here, I like their defense. Their defense, I think, is great. They're just been had some key injuries this year, but I'm gonna go offense here. I'm gonna actually, it could be a shocking pick, but I'm gonna go with receiver here.
No, it's not a shocking pick. I like that a lot.
Main reason I'm gonna go with receiver is Keenan Allen dealing with a hamstring injury.
Always injured.
He pretty much states that. You really got Mike Williams. He had a decent injury this year that's kept him out for a couple weeks. I'm not worried about him in the future with injuries. Keenan Allen, I am, though. He's in his 30s. I think going for a receiver would be good here. And I'm going to go with Jackson Smith, Nick Chuba.
Yeah, kind of fits the slot receiver role that they don't really have right now. You got Keenan, who can play kind of both slot and outside. Mike Williams is purely an outside receiver. And I think it fits really well. I think that gives Herbert the guy you can count on every single week. I like that pick a lot. It makes sense. That's not one many will make, but it's a good one. So now we got Cincinnati up pick 18. What do you?
I'm actually gonna go with another offensive position here. I think there's one big position you're lacking if you're the Bengals, and that's tight end. And I think there's one obvious tight end on the board, and that's for my favorite college football team, Michael Meyer. However you say the name.
Michael Mayer?
Mayer, okay there.
All right, yeah, no, I mean, adding another offensive weapon doesn't hurt anyone. He's a tight end. Again, like you said, a big position. They have Hayden Hurst, who is not that good of a tight end, so getting a true safety blanket tight end works. And he's a great vertical threat, can block well. All the intangibles. Great pick. Now we got Tampa Bay sitting at 19 here. So you could go a few ways here. Depends on what you're thinking for their future, but
I want to build that secondary. That secondary is very young. Let's add one more piece to that. Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon.
Ooh. Now, with both Sean Murphy-Bunting and Jamel Dean being free agents after this year, I think corner does make a lot of sense because I don't think they'll be able to retain both guys. I think Jamel Dean will be the guy they pay big money, and Murphy-Bunting they'll let walk. And then they'll add Christian Gonzalez, and you'll kind of fit that similar role that Murphy-Bunting played. So that's a good like prepared for the future. Expect one to be gone, replace him type of pick, and that's what Tampa usually does every year anyway. So now we got Denver here. This was the Bradley Chubb trade. Miami had this pick from San Francisco, so this is San Fran's original pick. Now Denver has it. Who do you want here?
For Denver, you traded away Bradley Chubb, we just mentioned, and I think you got to replace him. So I'm going to take edge Nolan Smith out of Georgia.
I like edge. It makes sense. I would have gone offensive tackle just because their offensive tackles are absolutely terrible. Broderick Jones, I think, would have been a great pick, or the perfect pick for me. But Nolan Smith still adds, assuming he could come back from injury in time, I think that's a solid. He'll make a big impact early on. He will start for him. Probably opposite of Randy Gregory would be my guess. But now we got New England at 21. And I think, I don't want to say this pick's easy, but I think the position is pretty easy to choose from.
For Patriots, I'm going to go receiver Keyshawn Butte out of LSU.
Wow, that was fast. Okay. I don't like that pick because I don't know how high I see Keyshawn Butte going in this draft. He's been underwhelming this season compared to what was expected of him, right? A lot of people were saying he was going to be like he was in the wide receiver 1 conversation for many people for this draft class, and now he's probably receiver 6 for me. I got a couple other guys ahead of him right now, but I could see him working well in New England, so I can understand the pick. It might be like a trade down and draft him, but obviously we're not doing trades, so I won't knock you for that. Now we got Seattle up, second pick. With their first pick, which was 7th overall, they went Will Levis. You had him go Will Levis. So what do you think in the pair up with these first rounders here?
I think that your second first rounder, you got to go with defense. Defense is hurting this year. I'm going to take an edge rusher, Jared Verse out of Florida State.
Ooh, I love Jared Verse. I shouldn't say I love him. I'm loving the hype around him now because there was hype from a few people early on that I didn't see the vision, but now I do, and I understand how good this guy can be. He's a borderline first rounder. I probably would have gone with Brian Brzee out of Clemson just because I think that defensive interior isn't great, but edge rusher is also not that great. So getting a true edge rusher works really well, and he'll fit well at that kind of 3-4 outside linebacker role that he'll be playing in Seattle. So now we got the Jets at pick 23.
For the Jets, I'm gonna go offensive pick here. I think you gotta protect Zach Wilson, so I'm gonna take an offensive tackle, Broderick Jones.
I love Broderick Jones, dude. He is gonna be when you got a running back, a potential superstar running back in Breece Hall. You want to get a great run blocker to help, obviously in the run game, and that's what Broderick Jones comes in. He's the best run blocker in this draft. By far, in my eyes, this dude is elite. His pass protection is also very good. So, hopefully Mekhi Becton can come back too, and then that will be a great duo of offensive tackles. All right, now we got Buffalo. Buffalo dropped a decent amount after their loss this week, so now they're picking at 24. I'm really interested to see where you go with this one. You can go a few ways.
You can go a few ways. You can possibly go safety because Hyde and Poyer are both up there in age.
Yes.
But I see them both being back next year, and they're right now in win now mode, clearly. They have a good enough team to win now. So they're not going to want to pick a guy who isn't going to really start for them much. So I'm going to go with an interior offensive lineman, Osiris Torrance.
Ooh, okay. I like that a lot. There aren't many interior offensive linemen I would take first round. Or there aren't any, actually. I won't lie to you. Maybe borderline first round, but they don't have many big positions in need. Bijan Robinson would have been the only other guy I'd consider here, probably. And Antonio Johnson, safety out of Texas A&M. But I think kind of just building that interior line makes sense. A bit of a reach, but a big position in need. Buffalo's in a position where they're going to draft by what they need rather than just best player available. So that's a good pick. Now we got Baltimore, 25. I was just gonna say I think it's an easy pick here for me. I know exactly who I'd go with.
For Baltimore, I think you got to help out Lamar here.
Yep.
You got only really 2 weapons, Mark Andrews and then maybe Rashad Bateman if you want to say he's a weapon. But he's been hurt lately, so you got to get a second receiver for him. Could be a reach here, but I'm going to take Josh Downs.
Definitely not a reach. You took Butte over him, and I have Josh Downs as the better. Josh Downs is my receiver 4 right now, behind Johnston, Addison, and JSN. So I think he fits exactly what Baltimore needs. He's really like a Deontay Johnson type receiver, so kind of pairs up well with what Rashad Bateman and his skill set is. That's that might be like just kind of like a value pick, and like just like a pick that fits like the team. I think that's one of your best picks so far. I can't lie to you. This mock draft's going pretty well. I can't lie. I'm really happy where this mock draft's going. You got a few picks that have shocked me, and like not even a bad way. There's a couple picks I really don't like.
Yeah.
Only like one or two that I'm not a fan of, but everything else is like, I don't know, man. I like this mock draft so far, but we got Tennessee now at 26, and this is a team I've struggled to draft with or draft for, so I'm really curious to see where you go with this pick. I'm intrigued.
I think for Tennessee, I want to go receiver here. You traded for Robert Woods this past offseason. Hasn't really done much for you. Traylon Burks, he has been hurt, so you'll have him healthy hopefully for next year. But I think you could use another weapon for Tennessee because I feel like they're very known for, like, in the offseason, signing defense players more than offense.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with the receiver here, Rashee Rice out of SMU.
Yep, Rashee Rice is my receiver 5 right now. I love what he's been doing at SMU. He's leading the league, leading the country in receiving yards right now. And, I don't know. See, I don't know how I feel about this because I don't know if they go back-to-back first-round receivers. I get receivers a big need for him right now, but maybe an edge rusher, okay, not tight end because Michael Mayer's off the board, but maybe they go offensive tackle. Although I think Rashee Rice is worth this pick. I think that was a good pick. All right, now we're down to the final 5 picks here. We got Dallas at 27. What do you got here?
I'm going to take a corner out of Clark Phillips III out of Utah.
Love it. Good. I probably play slot corner. Great at getting turnovers. Kind of fits Trayvon Diggs as well. And they need another corner to pair up with him. So I like that pick a lot. Now we got the Giants at 28. I don't know how long they sit at 28, but
I don't think they're going to be that high.
They're down here,
For Giants, I'm going to take a weapon for them. They don't have like a big weapon. I'm going to take
Who you taking?
Jalen Hyatt.
Jalen Hyatt? So many receivers in this draft. I'm loving it. Hyatt's been insane for Tennessee. Hendon Hooker's favorite weapon. And you're right. They need a true guy. They don't have their guy. And I think Hyatt could potentially be that for him. So that's a great pick as well. And now we're at Minnesota at 29. And I don't know where they're going to draft. I'm curious to see what you think.
I think for Minnesota, we're gonna go for defense here.
Yep.
Let's take an edge rusher out of LSU, B.J. Ojulari.
Oh, that's not a good pick. I don't like that because with Danielle Hunter and Zadarius Smith there, I get they're I'm not even gonna say up there in age, but I don't know. I think I would have rather gone corner. Edge is a good pick. I don't mind it at all, but I just think I'd rather go corner instead. That's the only other position group I'd probably go over, but. Now we're down to the final 2. This is the Super Bowl prediction pretty much for this. Pick 30, we got the Chiefs. And I want you to pick who I want you to pick. Please just do it. Please. Please do it. Please do it.
I feel like I'm not going to do it.
No, you're going to. Do it.
All right, we're going offense here. I'm going to go offensive tackle from Penn State.
Oh, good.
I'm not going to say that name.
Fashanu, I'm going to say because I can't pronounce it either. He'll play right tackle. Great pick. And now we got Philly at 31.
For Philly, let's get another corner there. Emmanuel Forbes out of Mississippi
State. Good man corner. Will really complement what Darius Slay does. And that's a good way to round off the draft here. So, with that is going to do it for this episode. I know we kind of it's a little rushed at the end, but, we got to do what we got to do. But Tia's very good mock draft. A few bad picks, but overall pretty good. So with that, I'm TJ Haws. He's Tyler Houston. And we'll see you in the next one.